We've all been in that situation where we really like a girl, we're texting back and forth, and then out of nowhere, she stops texting you and she texts days and days to reply, and you're sat there and you have no idea what you've done wrong. Well, in this video today, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do when a girl ignores your messages for days at a time. But why do women do this, right? You've been speaking to this girl for a while, it's been going good, everything's back and forth, the energy is reciprocated, and then out of nowhere, she just decides to leave it days, if not weeks, to reply to you. Well, the reason she does this is a woman's biggest test to satisfy hypergamy. The three things she is testing for is number one, neediness. Whether you are going to double message her because you haven't got that reply, you make excuses like, oh, she's been busy, maybe she's not seen my message, and then you decide to send another message, and that just proves to her that you are needy. Number two, whether you are sold on her. Let me give you an example, right? If a girl decides that she's going to leave your message for days and days, right, and then she finally messages you back, and you do not address the fact that she was rude and she didn't reply to your message for a week or a matter of days, if you do not bring that up and check her for her behavior, she considers you sold on her. Therefore, you do not satisfy hypergamy because you don't have the balls, you don't have the nerve to have some respect for yourself and respect for the fact you're speaking to this girl, right? And she's not showing you the same respect back. You are not checking her on that behavior. And number three, she is testing to see whether you want a deeper connection. At this stage, right, you have not been speaking to this girl for long, so she knows that she has not shown you enough for you to want more. Deep down, she knows that she hasn't been worth it for you to want that relationship yet. That is why if you show her that you are only for her, you're dedicating 100% of your attention towards this girl, she knows you want a relationship. She knows you want that deeper connection, and she hasn't done anything to deserve that yet. Therefore, that does not satisfy hypergamy. Keep in mind, guys, all these tests are subconscious. This is just her mind telling her she can always do better. At the end of the day, this girl does not have an emotional attachment to you yet, so she does not care about you, and that's fine. All right, she is going about her everyday life, going about life as she usually does, ignoring boys left, right, and center. Her DMs and messages are all full. You are not the exception yet. Until she has some sort of attachment for you, until she dedicates her messaging to you, she's not going to reply. She's just going to get on with her own life, and she will leave you messages for days at a time. Do not take it personally. The key thing to take away from this, guys, is that a girl taking a couple of days to reply does not necessarily mean she has low interest or no interest at all, right? I've had interactions in the past with girls where I haven't spoke to them for months, right? And if a girl has left me undelivered, I use this one method to make sure I can turn that situation around, and I pass that test, and I always end up on a date with that girl. So what should you do, right? What's the one golden secret to reacting to this perfectly where you pass her test and you satisfy hypergamy? Well, what you need to do is ignore her message completely, right? Even if it's a question. So eventually this girl is going to reply to you, right? And if she asks you a question, you ignore it. If she just responds to your text message, you completely ignore it. You ignoring her reply is going to do three things. Number one, it will signal that you have other options, right? Only a man who is speaking to other girls or has the capability to attract other girls, he is the man who is going to ignore that message because he doesn't care. He'll just go on to the next girl. Number two, this will satisfy hypergamy because you hold her to a standard. Every single girl wants a man in her life who is going to check her on her behavior. She wants a man who is a leader. She wants a man who respects his own time to make her accountable for her silly decisions. So as long as you're making sure that she is aware that she has made the silly decision to leave you undelivered for days and days, then you will satisfy hypergamy. And number three, make her chase you because otherwise she would never speak to you again. When you ignore this girl's message, right, she has no choice but to chase you if she wants to see you again, right? Because you have ignored that message. You are not going to tolerate that bullshit and that disrespect, right? So she knows that she has to message you for a second time if she wants to arrange that date, because you are not going to tolerate it. You'll just ignore the message. So when this girl does eventually message you again, because trust me, she will, if you ignore her message, right? Her ego will make her message you again. You must never come across as triggered or emotional at the fact that she has waited days upon days, if not weeks, to reply to you. She's going to say something like, oh, why did you not respond to my message, right? Why did you not reply to my message? And your response needs to tease her. You need to say something like, oh, I've lived a whole new life since then, right? What were we even talking about? This way, you are setting that boundary, but in a very light-hearted way, all right? You are teasing her into the fact that she has taken days to reply. You are not being emotional. You're not triggered by the situation. You're just taking the piss out of her, and she will love this. Or better yet, and I've had girls do this in the past, she will be so straightforward, and that second message will be something like, oh, what are you doing next week? Or do you still want to go on that date next week when you're free? Girls do not mess about when you pass this test. The likelihood is she will just be so straightforward and ask to see you, right? Because you have satisfied hypergamy. You've passed that test, and now she knows that you are a man who she wants to go on a date with. Guys, your dating life is going to be 10 times easier when girls know that you don't tolerate their bullshit, right? You don't tolerate them playing games, right? Always remember to be teasing, to be flirty, and never act emotional and never act triggered. If you like this video, drop it a like, leave a comment, and if you want to improve your dating life, subscribe to the channel for more. I love you.